Well, what is up, beautiful people of YouTube? My name is Jerutastic, and welcome to a very special and helpful episode of Tropico 6 tips and tricks and or Tropico 6 tutorials. And today I'm going to be showing you what are the best things to research for each era. Obviously, you want to research all of them, but what should you pay attention to? What should you focus on for each era? Colonia era, World War era, Cold War era, and Modern Times era in Tropico 6. So let's get it started. What are the best things to research in the Colonia era? Let's start. Advanced boat services. The reason for that is because the boats and everything else go a little faster. Now it's gonna cost you a little more, but your transport times are gonna be a little faster. Next up, I would go with church fees. In case you need to enable that, you have it. Because you gotta remember, a lot of the edicts, you can't enable them until you research them. So in case you need a little extra money, then I would research church fees. Number 3, employee of the month. A lot of in the Colonia era and the World War era, you're gonna be doing a lot of mining, a lot of industrial work. So employees of mines and industrial buildings work double shifts as long as the edict is active. So again, you want to research the employee of the month edict for Tropico 6. And last but not least, library. The reason why you want to research libraries is because libraries are gonna be very, very important going down the road, and I'll show you why. So in order for you to even research stuff, you're gonna need to do what? You're gonna need research points. So the library, for example, I'm not even gonna bother looking at this library where it's at, so I'm just gonna build one here real quick. And let's take a look at the work mode of libraries. You got student public support, efficiency decrease 25 while the building is operational, but each high school and college, you're not gonna have to worry about that. But you got emits 15 liberty, and you got basic settings. But you also, what you have here is increases the efficiency by 25%. And what do we need the efficiency for? The efficiency helps with producing research points. Now we take a look at the Colonia era. Let's move on to the World War era. Now there's a few things I want you to see before we get started. When you see a palm tree, that means it's a constitutional research. When you see kind of like a pamphlet with a ribbon on it, that means it is an edict. And when you see a green suitcase or briefcase like this, that means it is a work mode. It's specific to that work mode. So what are the things I would focus on this first? The first things I would click on in this era. Labor policy. Because this way, sometimes you might need your workers to work longer and push your retirements off a little bit. It's good to have there to begin with. Religion and state, I wouldn't worry about. Audience, I wouldn't worry about just yet. Building permits, I would. Now, it might increase the construction cost of all buildings by 20%, but you can use that to siphon money into your Swiss account. Swiss account is important to have money in for various reasons. I will get into it in another video, but that will help you out. Now, you might pay more upfront, but you are generating Swiss money. Next up, this is probably the most important one. Literacy program increases the efficiency of all high school and colleges by 25%. Now it's going to increase the upkeep. Why is this one of the most important ones for this one? Because once you get to the next era, there's going to be a lot of educated, skilled, required jobs. And you're going to need to start bumping people and building high schools in this era, in the World War era. So by the time you hit the Cold War era, and by the time you have more industries that require either college or high school education, you already have that in there. So make sure you put that in there. Now, we'll get back to martial law in just a second. The next one I really would recommend is state loans. State loans are important because just in case you are going in negative really bad, yes, there's going to be a lot of interest, but the $50,000 is going to come in handy. Wealth tax, same thing. Remember, in the World War, you're going to become a somewhat industrial era, so you're going to be building a lot. And sometimes the upkeep and the money is going to really go low. So wealth tax is going to help you out with that. If you're running low on money, once again, wealth tax is one of those things that you can just put in there, make a little bit extra money. I wouldn't really do anything here just yet. I wouldn't worry about it just yet. Now, obviously down the road, research all of them, but I'm telling you, what should you focus on first? Now we go back to martial law. As I said, we'll get back to it. Martial law is good if you have enough military and if you think you're going to keep losing elections for that era. Or any era really for that matter. But if you think you're going to lose election in the time that you're doing this in, I would go with martial law, because martial law, basically elections happen, you're losing it, they're about to throw you out of the office, boom, martial law. But besides that, the main important ones for this era: labor policy, building permits, literacy program, wealth tax, state loans, and martial law is a plus. All right, now we get to the Cold War era, and as you can see, things start to open up. Now, a lot of those in the Cold War era is going to be building modes, as you can see, all the green briefcases here. So what do we have here? Immigration and media independence. Again, these are things you want to research eventually, but which ones are really needed? Alternative food sources, number one. Just in case things are running tough, people are dying of starvation, you don't have enough money for the food industry, any of that stuff, boom, you hit them with that, you'll be all right, okay? Next up, nuclear testing. You might say, what the heck? Why would I do that? Well, again, you're just pulling a free card out of your butt. You receive $100,000 when you activate this. In case you need it, you're gonna need that, trust me. Next up, spelling bee. Upon graduation, each high school student has a chance of 5% directly earning a college degree. So once again, the educated workers are very, I see a lot of players struggle with educated industries down the road in the era because they have not set themselves up to succeed in the World War era. So make sure you set yourself up to succeed even more by researching the spelling bee. Next up, made in Tropico increases the export prices of all goods by 5%, but increases the upkeep of buildings by 20%. But if you have a lot of trades going on, all that stuff, you add 5% to it, that's a great deal. So that's what we have. And next up is the banking system. Now, before we even get further, what you say, why the banking system? I'll show you why. Now, if you have a little bit of money in the bank at this point, this is why the banking system mode is good. You got 3 work modes that you're gonna unlock: national bank, slush funds, private banking, okay? National bank generates 2% interest to what you have in the treasury. The slush funds takes it and puts it in a Swiss bank. If you want to focus on your Swiss bank, you got that option there. Private banking generates $2 of 100 full workers per rich and filthy rich citizens per month, okay? So that's why it's good, because you're talking about a little bit more money. And once I click this, as you can see, lifetime adds up. And I got plenty more banks, and all of them actually, see, as you can see here, like this one is set on national bank. This one's probably might be set on the same thing. I just don't know why I didn't change it. So this one is a slush fund. This one is a national bank, but it's also making me $445,000 in a lifetime that it is. And the slush fund, well, this is negative, but don't forget, it's going to show negative lifetime income here, but that's because it is a slush fund. It's not making the country money. It's making El Presidente and his family money in his Swiss bank account. So let's go back to researches here. We talked about the banking, and last but not least, the TV station work mode. Why the TV station work mode? I'll show you why once again, because you can go for pay for TV. All these gonna unlock, and once you click on here, $1.8 million in lifetime expenses, and also propaganda successful. I actually have a television station almost everywhere in this island, if I remember correctly. The reason I keep saying if I remember correctly, because I truly have not played this island in a while. So this one I know is a newer one, $500,000 already. So this is why you want to research that. So let's recap. We want alternative food source. We want nuclear testing, spelling bee, made in Tropico, banking work modes, and the TV station work modes. Now let's go to the modern times. Now we are here in the final era, modern times. Now, once again, the more we progress, and this is the last time we'll progress, obviously, the less you'll see constitutional researches and edict researches, and the more you'll see the work mode researches. But which one would I do? And once again, for the 20th time this video, you have to eventually research all of them, okay? You got to research all of them, but for right now, these are the ones I would focus on first for each era. The global market economy, okay? Because at this point, it allows you to put a focus on a specific trade route and make more money on that, okay? Next up, contraception ban. Why contraception ban? Because you can pull that card from your pocket, slam it on the table if you need a population boom. If you need more population, you're not getting enough immigration in your island, and you got all these empty industries that nobody's filling up these jobs, then make them have babies. Make them have babies, I'm telling you. So there you go on that. Policy of detente. This is very, very important, especially the more you grow, the more military coups chances, the more rebel uprisings, the more all this stuff, the more people are going to be upset. But this one is good because each rebel and leader has a chance of 50% to lose their role. Guerrillas have a chance 50% to return to Tropican community. So all this stuff. You're going to have a lot of guerrilla attacks that are separate than the rebel attacks. So that's why it's good. We got seed disposal is a questionable one, so we'll come back to that one in just a second. So these are the first ones we'll do. As far as work modes, first one I will do here is research lab. The research lab is very, very important because if you need more research points, there's a work mode in there that will allow you to do that. Of course, you got to make sure the budget is high as well. The office mode as well. Why the office mode? Because it opens up all kinds of things. As you can see here, let's go to where our offices are at. There they are. We got one here. And these are the work mode. You got corporate business, consumer, official business, solid business, progressive business. So this one is on consumer business, $1.6 million. This one is on corporate business, $3.6 million. This one is on consumer business, once again, $1.1 million. And what is this one on? This one is on solid business, $400,000. So we're diversifying what kind of offices these are, what they do exactly, all that good stuff. And obviously, I'm not going to go one by one, but you read on it and you do whatever you feel like is best for your island at the time. What is consumer? The office generates $2 and base efficiency per family living in the residential buildings except shacks. I know I have very, very low homelessness in this island, so this makes sense to me. Official business generates $5 per employee, governmental and finances building. You know, if I didn't have a lot of money, I wouldn't build this. I wouldn't build an office building and set it as that because, you know, $5 is a lot of money, but how many finance and governmental buildings would you have? So that's how you got to look at it. So these are the things. Now let's go back to this. We said we're going to look at one way of seed disposal. Now, if you really, really, really want to make sure you are a green island to attract more tourists and whatnot, I would do the seed disposal as well. So to recap this one, global market economy, contraception ban. Then we said policy of the dente. Then I would research automatically the research lab and the office research lab. Now, these have been a very, very detailed. This is what I would do, and I've had successful island after successful island after successful island. There are 5 seasons for you to watch besides the tips and tricks videos that I do. That's why I would do them. I gave you the power or the reason behind them why you should do them as well. Again, you should research all of them eventually. And you might have a different way of doing it. But with that being said, if this video helped you out, please help me out by hitting the subscribe button and the like button. It'll cost you nothing to show some love. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well as you got informed. My name is Jerutastic and I'm out. See you guys.